going on. Sitting here thinking about all the sun, moon, stars cults that have been out throughout all societies and are here now. Sun, moon, stars cult. Basically, you could an earther, tree hugger, hippie, someone who thinks that Mother Nature is God. These type of people. I mean, they'll get right on board real quick with the sun cult, the sun dragon cult, or the sun snake, sun serpent cult, like the Egyptian pharaohs who had those snakes on their forehead. That symbolizes the sun, that they have divine rulership from the sun. Or you even got the disc with a four-pointed star up and down, and then a diagonal three-line star. That the Ishtar disc, the Sumerian sun disc, and the sun and the moon. The goddess of heaven, or the queen of heaven, the moon, the sun gods, the sun itself. I just realized, like Lucifer, okay, it means the light bearer. And these people, what it is, I just realized it. What it is they're worshiping the light itself, like light that emanates from the sun, like light that causes us to see everything, because it's either light or the lack of light that gives us this contrast, that, like this wood design behind me here. You know what I'm saying? This is how our universe works. This is the principles it works on. Is light, like light, mass, space, empty space, or and then electromagnetic forces here. But the sun cult, the light, you know what I'm saying? The light itself, since the sun does seem like it's the mechanism that, to some extent, makes life tick on this planet, because the sun, when it shines down on the grass, for instance, it feeds the grass. It basically generates energy somehow, or recycles things, or transmutes them almost in an alchemical fashion, that you take this light particle that you can't even really see. Only when there's a large cluster of them all together at the same time do you even notice it. But these little light particles hit the grass and then grow into a plant, and then the sheep comes and eats them, or a bug eats the plant, and then a spider eats the bug, and then a bird eats that spider, and then a cat eats that bird, and then a dog eats that cat, and then a bear eats that dog, and then a human, or that bear eats deer, and it shits out a seed and it grows into another plant, man. Fucking, it's crazy. But they worship the light, and I mean, I can understand that, how someone would mistake that for God, maybe, or a god-like, or if there was a god, this is probably what they thought it was. So we'll just carry on the tradition. But a sun cult, that's basically a theocracy, okay? That's like the Mayans, okay? The priest class worked in concert with the ruling royal families to sacrifice people, or the sun wouldn't shine. And we know they've stopped sacrificing people for a long time, and the sun still yet shines, right? So these people, what it is they trick you somehow into worshiping the creation rather than the creator of creation itself. And it happens over and over again. It's a theocracy in a eco-fascist dictatorship. That's exactly what they want to do with this carbon tax, with the UN depopulation, the sustainable development movement, shit like that, the Venus Project. These people are all trying to capitalize on this eco-fascist dictatorship, this nature cult, where, you know, the sun, moon, and the stars, and the earth, and the sea, and the fishes, and let's go hug some trees and suck each other's cocks, basically. Excuse my French. But yeah, it's got this, also, the sun is associated with this fertility cult. You know what I'm saying? There's no differentiation between them. The fertility cult, the sun cult. In order for fertility, you must sacrifice a bunch of babies, basically. We have to kill babies or the sun will not shine. Now, how backwards, twisted is that? But yet, people believe this. They've done it. They did it over and over. It started in Babylon, and then it went to Egypt, and then it went to Greece, and then it went to Rome, and then, you know, it was over here in America too. I mean, the threads are out there. People were burning people to death, bleeding out people, tossing people down pyramids, you know, or the snake sun god wouldn't bestow its blessings upon the land. And every single one of these cultures, every single one, once it started to embark so far down that path of depravity and backwardsness, none of them exist anymore. Their knowledge may exist, but these cultures are gone. There's a reason for that. They were meant to be gone because they were backwards. It's just like this. It's like in the Muslim Quran. I've never read the Quran. You know, I have really not too much desire to, because I know the Catholics wrote, or they were responsible for this book, for this guy Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? They're responsible for him. You know what I'm saying? Because they commissioned him, just like they commissioned all these Greek painters and sculptors to do all this work over there in Rome. They commissioned Muhammad to start an antithesis religion to Judaism. You know how they like to fund both sides of the war? Well, these guys were figuring, well, over here, since we got our crusades, and on the other side, we'll put our money with the Muslims so they can take Jerusalem for us. And then the Muslims got so powerful, they were like, fuck you, Mr. Pope. We don't need to do what you say. God's with us. Allah is with us, because or we wouldn't have Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see how this stuff works, man. It's real sick with it. But the sun cult, I heard this guy, he did a documentary or a video about, it's like the Mahima Dadim or something like that. And basically, that's the Muslims' version of the Antichrist. And it means the sun that rises from the place where it sets. Okay? This is called the West over here. This is where the sun sets in America. So, the sun that rises from the place where it sets, it's not coming from the East or the Middle East. It's coming from over here. But what that means is, this is someone who reinitiates the sun cult, eco-fascist, theocracy, dictatorship. We know it as the NWO. I think his name's Akhenaten. This is what he did in Egypt a long time ago. I mean, when there's a regime change, sometimes they institute these religious, cultish governments, and then, you know, people suffer, and then, you know, you gotta sacrifice your children, or the sun will not shine all of a sudden. When I've grown up and the sun's always shone, and I've never had to sacrifice a child.